And we are live. Hello, homemakers, and everyone in the chat or on the replay. On today's episode of Homemaking with Purpose, we are going to talk about all things Thanksgiving and primarily what to do first, what to do second, what to do third, how to cook this, how to cook that. So tonight we're going to get into it, and I hope I can get all your questions answered. I do have some questions that I've already been given, so we're going to go from there. So first off, let me encourage you to download my printable 21 days to get your house ready for the holidays. I do have it listed in the description box, and it's linked there, and it will serve you well regardless of what holiday you're prepping for. Now, I did have Thanksgiving in mind when I prepared it, but it will also help you prepare for Christmas or Hanukkah. And with both of those holidays being on the heels of Thanksgiving, you'll pretty much have things in hand already. So please download the printable, and it will put you on my email list so you'll stay on top of what's going on with this and that with Denise and Apron Diva and that kind of thing. And I encourage you to subscribe. Excuse me, I am still recovering from this terrible flu-like thing. It's not the flu, it's not COVID, it's an upper respiratory infection, and it has worn me out. And I'm still on the mend. So if I have to cough a few times, please forgive me. I'll talk more about that later. I'm going to move on for right now. So let me just go ahead and say hello to everyone that's in the chat, and I'll come back and do some individual hellos in a minute. But question number one came from Vicky from South Carolina. And Vicky says, if I'm having a hard time finding ripe sweet potatoes, could I use canned yams for sweet potato pie? And of course, the answer is yes. If you can't find fresh sweet potatoes, then you can use canned sweet potatoes or canned yams. And then her second question was, if I have to use canned yams, then how can I make it more homemade? And I had to think about that because I've always used fresh. So I called my cousin. I put in the lifeline. I have a cousin who is a cook extraordinaire and is a great cake and pie baker. And so she thought about it for a minute and she said, absolutely, you can have a delicious sweet potato pie with canned yams. However, she said, make sure you drain them very well. She suggested you put them in a colander and just let them sit for a little bit to make sure you drain out all of the liquid. And then once they're drained pretty good, go ahead and mash them either with a potato masher or mash them with a fork. But she said, don't use a food processor because the potatoes are already cooked and they're already soft and you don't want them mushy. So you can mash them with a potato masher or with a fork. The other thing is that if you're using canned sweet potatoes and if you use a potato masher or a fork, if there's any strings in them, you can go ahead and fish those out before you go ahead and mix up your sweet potato filling, pie filling the usual way. So once you get them all mashed up, she said you would want to go ahead and use your traditional sweet potato pie recipe. So there's that one. And then Vicky also had another question. Her other question was, what are some additional items to use to garnish a turkey platter? Like Vicky had three questions. So I thought I would share a picture that I found. So now let me figure out how to share. I'm just a little fuzzy right now. So how do I share now? Because they've changed a few things. And, presets maybe. Share screen. There we go. All right, guys, I tell you what, this whatever this is has really knocked me for a loop, and I just feel so spacey some days. So, like I'm in a mental fog. All right. So her question was some other thoughts on how to garnish the turkey. And so I found this and I thought this would be good to use. Let me turn it down. Would be good to use. Ooh, sorry, let me get this turned off. Okay, so here's a turkey here, and you can see what they've done. They placed it in, it's in one of those little oh shoot, I'm sorry, this is the wrong one. This is the ham. I told you guys that I'm fuzzy. Okay, let me stop this one. Let me come back over here. Come back over here. Share the screen. Share the screen. Chrome tab. How to roast a turkey. Share. I told you guys, I just feel like I've been in a mental fog for the past few days with this, whatever this is. So just ignore me. So take a look at this turkey now. It's not on a nice little platter. So if you plan to display the turkey, like to show the whole turkey, then you can put, like here you can see some sage leaves are there to garnish it with. You've got some fresh lemons, you've got apples and different things like that. So you can use fresh herbs and fruits to garnish the turkey. However, I'm going to stop sharing that now. Come back on over here. However, if you're going to to display the turkey sliced on your platter, then you can still use fresh herbs kind of sprinkled around the platter and some slices of lemon, slices of orange, maybe even, I don't know if I do apple slices unless you dip them in lemon first so they don't turn brown. But you can certainly do grapes and oranges and lemons and things like that, and then your sage and your thyme to help to garnish the turkey platter in that way. So that is certainly something that you can do, and it will display itself beautifully. And if you guys have other ideas on how to do that, put your ideas in the chat, and then we'll see what you got over there. Okay, so now I'm going to pop over here to the chat, and I'm just going to say hello to people that have joined us. So hello, and I'm glad you were able to get here live. Michelle, hey. Ronnie, hey. Jerry, hello to you as well. And then Sharonta, hello. Nida B, hi. I'm just so glad you guys were all able to join me because I wasn't sure I was going to be able to get here tonight or not. So thank you guys so much for joining me tonight. Patricia and Vicky from South Carolina. Boom. Did you just hear me answering your questions? I hope, because you're the questions that I was answering. So yeah, she's got like, okay, thanks. Oh, so Michelle said her entire household just got over RSV. She had no ideas. It made older kids, teens, and adults so sick. Yes. We typically think about RSV in reference to infants because it can really be critical for them. But it also is very bad for older adults, of which I'm in that category. But whatever this upper respiratory infection that is going around has just been knocking people for a loop. And I tell you what, it's been a good 10 days and I am still not myself. So yeah. But yes, Vicki, these are your questions that you have. Elizabeth, I'm so glad you were able to catch me tonight. And her first thought to the question of options to garnish a turkey was that she would need to garnish a turkey. Well, she would need to garnish a turkey with her mouth soon. Yeah. So let's get that going. And I think we are all really looking forward to the holidays because the last few holidays have not necessarily been our best or our most enjoyable because there's been so much going on and not able to kind of spend time with those that we love and want to get near. And now we've got all these other respiratory infections going on. So we're just going to have to be careful. And I do plan to do a video on how to try to like disinfect your home and get ready to manage your families in regards to all of that. But for now, we're going to look forward to Thanksgiving and Hanukkah and Christmas and Kwanzaa, and just think about how blessed we are to have family and friends to enjoy the day with. So, RSV is respiratory syncytial virus, and it's a really bad virus that affects the respiratory system in people, but particularly it's very hard on newborns and older adults. It creates kind of like a pneumonia-like kind of thing going on because you end up with a lot of fluid in the lungs, a lot of coughing. It can be pretty bad. So if you think that there's something going on with your child or your older adult, make sure you seek medical attention. So you don't want to mess around with that. Yeah, so okay. And my Higa house is Ramona. Thank you, Ramona, for being sure to share that. All right. So I was answering Vicki from South Carolina's questions about how to garnish a turkey platter. So we just look at some of those. And then Elizabeth Bertrell says she's going to garnish it with her mouth, which means she's going to be looking to eat some turkey pretty soon, as am I. And I did talk about how to do the sweet potatoes. And then the third question that Vicki had was whether or not she could do, instead of doing a ham, if she could do a leg of lamb. And how would you cook that? And I've never cooked a leg of lamb, but I did look that up, and I did find a post on Reluctant Entertainer about how to roast and garnish. Now I got the wrong one again. Sorry. I'll come back over here. Guys, I told you I was a little fuzzy tonight. Let me just get it. It's up here. Roasted leg of lamb. All right. So on Damned Delicious, this talks about how to do a roasted leg of lamb. And for the most part, you have the lamb, you rub it all over with salt and pepper, and then you score it with a knife, like a little triangle, a diamond-shaped scores, rub it with the salt and pepper, layer onions and that kind of thing in the pan, and then you roast it. And you can see here they've got rosemary and other herbs sprinkled all around. So Vicki, I will link this article in the description box so that you can find it, and hopefully it will prove helpful to you. I've made lamb chops, but I've not done a roasted leg of lamb. So, okay. All right, so let's see. Okay, so now Lurker Smurf says she will do set it for 325 until 145 on a thermometer. Oh, so she will roast it at 325 until it comes to 145 degrees internal temperature for medium rare. And you can get all kinds of doneness when carved, meaning that when you carve different places on it, some will be well done, some will be medium, and that kind of thing. So, okay, so there's that. So that was the first thing that I wanted to address. And then the other, my sister from another Mr. Michelle at My Everyday Wife Life, she also wanted to jump in a little bit on the turkey. And so she says that she will roast her turkey with an herb butter made with sage, thyme, and rosemary. Make sure the skin is rubbed inside and out. And then she will kind of garnish the top of the turkey, like, when it's on the table or something like that. She may garnish that with like some of the rosemary, but in the cavity of the turkey, when she's roasting it, she will put lemon slices and apple and butter instead of like dressing. So remember, we don't put stuffing in the turkey anymore. You can put apples, oranges, lemons, those kind of things in the turkey to roast it to get flavor, and then you're going to take those out and discard them. but you don't put stuffing in the turkey. You make dressing on the side. So there's that. Okay. All right. So then question number 2 came from Nikia Nichelle, and she wants to know, what order do I cook my dishes on Thanksgiving? She wants to know, do I start with items that has a longer cooking time, or do I start with items that have a shorter cooking time? And the answer to that is yes, I do both. So here's what I will tend to do, Nikia, and for all of my young homemakers out there, this is something you want to think about. What takes the longest time to cook? What's going to take you more difficulty to make and put together? What can you get out of the way quickly and easily? What can you make ahead? So you want to think about all those things. So what I will tend to do is I will make my cornbread first. I will make the cornbread usually 2 or 3 days before Thanksgiving, because you want a nice dry cornbread, because a moist cornbread makes a heavy dressing. So you want to make your cornbread early enough that it can dry out and be ready to crumble up nicely when you're ready to make your dressing. So I'll make the cornbread 2 or 3 days ahead, set it out on the counter, and just let it start to dry. That's one of the first things that I'll do. And then I'll chop up my vegetables, like my celery, my onions, my carrots. I put all of those 3 things in my dressing. I also use, so I'll chop those up and roughly chop them, and I'll put those in airtight containers and put them in the refrigerator and have those done and set aside. And then I'll sit down and think, so now what is my menu, and what's going to be going into the oven, and what's going to take the longest to cook? Now, I know I'm going to have turkey dressing, usually always cornbread dressing, collard greens, candied sweet potatoes, macaroni and cheese. I'll have a green salad. We'll also have green beans, some kind of a green bean dish. My sister makes these holiday green beans, and I do have, I'll link the holiday green bean recipe in the description box, but it is in my Thanksgiving 101 playlist. But I'll make the holiday green beans, which they're very good. They have like potatoes in them, and she makes them with like vinegar and kind of a thickening. They're just so good. So we'll have that. We also will have a fruit salad, and then of course your various pies and cranberry sauce. So since I know the greens are going to take several hours to cook, and I can cook them ahead and put them in the fridge or the freezer, I'll make the greens maybe 3 days before Thanksgiving. I can either put them in the crock pot, let them cook for several hours, or I can cook them on the stove top. But then once they're done, I'll let them cool, and then I'll put them in the freezer. That way they stay fresh until Thanksgiving Day or Christmas Day or whatever day it is you're going to use them. I will take them out of the freezer the night before the holiday and let them thaw in the fridge. And then I'll set them on top of the stove and then warm them up that day of. But I want to get those greens out of the way because they take up a lot of space and they take a lot of time. And that's an eye on my cooktop that I can be using for other things. Sorry, guys. I am so sorry. This may go on a couple times during the night, but so that's what I'll do. So then I'll get those greens done and get them out of the way, and they're in the freezer. The other thing that I can make ahead is my candied sweet potato dish. They take time to peel. They take time in the oven. So I can make those candied sweet potatoes a couple days ahead and get those in the refrigerator in an airtight container. However, typically my sisters are coming over for dinner, and Mickey Blue Skies makes the best candied sweet potatoes in the world. I actually make her recipe. So if she's coming, I will delegate her to make the candied sweet potatoes and then ask her to bring them over early enough that day that I can pop them in the oven to get them warmed up. Or if she brings them the day of, or later towards dinner, she'll bring them already heated up so that all I have to do is put them on the table. But if I'm making the sweet potatoes myself, then I'm going to make those the day before. The other dish that we make is fruit salad. And this dish does include bananas. And I don't like my bananas to get soggy or brown. So I will make the fruit salad that morning and put it in an airtight container so that it's fresh and the flavors have melded together for when we're ready to serve it. But I don't like to make that the day before. As far as the mac and cheese, I like to make the mac and cheese the day of. I like to have that mac and cheese almost fresh out of the oven, so it's still kind of bubbly and hot when it's close to time for dinner. So I'll make my mac and cheese Thanksgiving Day. So there's that. Excuse me. If I'm going to be making homemade cranberry sauce, I can make that a couple days ahead, put it in an airtight container, and I'm good to go with that. If I'm using canned cranberry sauce, and if I'm using canned, I'm only using ocean spray, then I can just open that up and dump it out into my cranberry sauce dish just an hour or so before the guests get there. If I'm making cornbread for eating, I will usually make that maybe a couple of hours before we get ready to have dinner, because I like to have that fresh that day as well. But you can make your you can make your cornbread for eating the day before and then wrap it in an airtight container. And then when you get ready to serve it, pop it in the oven so that it's warmed up or comes to room temperature. So you can do that. As far as my pies, now lately I've been buying my pies. I like to use the Wix or the Marie Callender pecan pies. And I like to get the one that all you have to do is just thaw it and serve. So I will get those. I will take those out of the freezer the day before, and so they can thaw out, or I can even get them out early that morning, set them on the buffet so they can be thawing out, and they can be sliced just before dinner starts. If I'm baking sweet potato or apple, then those will be baked a couple of days before. However, I have an extraordinary daughter-in-law who has her own bakery business who will bring the desserts now. So she will bring the sweet potato pies. If I'm going to do apple, then I have to do those myself. And if I'm going to do peach cobbler, I'll do that the day before as well. Now let's talk about the elephant in the room, and that's the turkey, because that's what takes the longest amount of time. It takes up a lot of oven space and it takes a lot of time. So when do you want to get that turkey in the oven? Well, my friend Leona, Miss Leona Dooley, she likes to put her turkey in and let it cook all night. Now, when she means by all night, she may put it in around 11 or 12, and then maybe she gets it out around 5 or 6 or something like that. My mom used to put hers on and let it cook all night. I prefer to cook mine the day of the dinner. So sometimes I'll try to put the turkey in at 10 so that it's out by 2. And then when I get that out at 2, I can put the dressing in after the turkey comes out. Because, that roasting pan is pretty big. There's not much else going on in that oven with the turkey in there. But lately, I've been getting up early and getting the turkey put in the oven at 6 so that the turkey is out of the oven by 10. I usually have a turkey that's big enough that it takes 3 to 4 hours to cook. So if you get the turkey in at 6, you can get it out by 10 while the turkey's sitting on the stovetop resting. Then you can get your other things in. So now while the turkey's roasting, I've already prepped my mac and cheese. It's ready, it's poured, it's ready to pop in the oven. It's sitting on the cooktop ready for me to stick in. I've already mixed up my dressing, and I will mix my dressing up that day. So I've got my, I'll get my onions and celery and carrots out that I've chopped up. I'll get those out, crumble up my cornbread, make my dressing, put it in the pan, and sit it on the stovetop. So it's ready to go in the oven when I'm ready to pop it in there. So the mac and cheese is ready to go in the oven. The dressing's ready to go in the oven. If I'm going to do baked beans, they'll be ready to go in the oven. And then when the turkey comes out, those dishes can go in the oven together, and they're going to be in there for about 30 minutes each. So the cooking time is good for both of those. So those can go into the oven together. And then while the turkey's resting, once it's cooled off, I can get my husband to come in and get it sliced up and get it put on the platter. But I try not to do that until close to time to eat, because he can be in the way sometimes when we're both trying to get around and do things. Let's see, one other thing, and then I'll start looking at comments about that. But this way I'm on top of things. So it just seems to work out better for me now to get that turkey in at 6 and then have it ready to come out at 10. Now I put my turkey into brine. So I put the turkey into brine the day before. It sits in the brine for about 24 hours. And then I have to struggle to get it out of the refrigerator over to the sink to empty it, because my husband's not usually up at 6. He'll put it in the fridge for me. But if I get him up, he will get it up, come up, get it out of the fridge and bring it over to the sink so that I can empty the brine into the sink. I empty the brine out, pat the turkey dry, and then I do my thing to get that turkey ready and into the oven in my roasting pan. If I am cooking a ham, which I usually am, what I will do is I will slice I'll buy the spiral ham, the honey spiral ham, and then I will fully cooked, a fully cooked honey baked ham. Then I will slice all the meat off of the ham, or at least slice half of it off, put it in a dish that I can put into the oven. If I'm going to cover it with any kind of sauce, my daughter makes this applesauce jam sauce that she pours over her hams. So I will have that in a dish that's oven ready, and have that sitting on top of the cooktop. So it's ready to go in the oven when I'm ready to pop it in there to warm it up, because all that's going to need is warming up. But you got to make sure you get the ham out of the freezer the day before or a couple of days before, so that it's thawed out and so that you can slice it. Because if you got to put it in the oven and thaw it out that way, then you're running behind the 8 ball. So your two biggest things are going to be your meats, your ham and your turkey. So you want to make sure you plan well as to when you're going to get those in the oven and when you're going to get those out. And then the day of Thanksgiving, the things that if there's some additional things that I want to cook, like if I need to warm up some corn, or we're doing the green beans, those are things that cook quickly. I can do those while either the turkey is roasting or after my other things are done. And then as far as potato salad, my sister Lavina is the potato salad maker, so she's going to bring that over. My sister Tina, if she's here, she's going to make the fruit salad, and she'll make that either the day before or she'll make it that morning. And then she'll have that refrigerated and bring that over. And then we've got everything ready to go as far as the food. Now, let me see what people are saying over here. Okay, so I think Ramona says that she will prep and assemble everything the night before, and then she cooks it by the highest temperature first. And usually it's done at the same time, because she tries to do more than one dish at a time in the oven. And yeah, that does work well. That does work well. So Elizabeth Burchell says she will dry the skin really well, smother it with mustard, and then the acid burns off and it crisp caramelizes the skin with flavor. I believe that, Elizabeth Burchell. When my husband does his fish, many times he will cover them with some kind of a mustard prep that he makes for them, and it does give them a nice crisp appeal. So yeah, that is true. So Carol says managing the oven timing is with everything is difficult for her. So Carol, this is why what we're talking about today is to how to manage it. So think about if your meat, your turkey, your chicken, well, the chicken you can roast in a couple of hours, but if you've got a turkey, you've got a big bird that's going to take the longest time. What you'll want to do is either start the day before with some of the things that you can get done with some of your make ahead dishes, and then on the day of Thanksgiving, put your turkey in the oven first. Get it in the oven early, because here's the thing. Let's say if push comes to shove and I don't get that mac and cheese made, my family's going to be like, what? Where's the mac and cheese? Well, I'm sorry, I didn't get to it. But they will eat the turkey, the dressing, the green beans, the green salad, and they'll keep it moving. If there's no turkey, they're going to be like, what? What? Where's the turkey? So, Carol, set your priorities and think about what needs to happen most importantly and what you can make ahead. Tell us your dishes, Carol, that you're going to be making, because some of the ladies here on the chat will jump in and they will offer you some suggestions. Excuse me. And I'll come over and offer some too as soon as I see what you have. So ladies, let's help a sister out. She's going to tell us what it is she's going to cook so we can help her figure out how to manage her time. So Carol, put it in the chat what it is you're going to be cooking so we can help you sort that out. I'll come back. And don't you guys let me forget to come back. Okay. So Lurker says anything with a 20-minute bake time can be done while the turkey or roast is resting. Yes. So while the turkey is out now and it's resting, you can be getting something else in that oven. So Alyssa Beltro will do a small chicken breast. It doesn't, no, it doesn't. Yeah, the flavors is completely different. I know exactly what you're saying. Vicki, you know what? I'm doing better. I really am doing much better. This is like day 10, and I'm actually looking pretty good. My sister came by to drop something off, and she says, oh, you look pretty good today. So yeah, I am actually much better. So don't worry about me. I'm on plenty of meds, and I've been drinking plenty of tea thanks to Jerry Barber and Debbie Johnson and Mickey Blue Skies. Hey, Dee, it is always good to have you here. So Dee says she cooks her turkey in the morning while watching the parade on TV. So if she's got her turkey in the oven while she's watching the parade, then that means this little lady is very organized because she's got her other stuff already going and she knows what's what. So thank you, Dee, for that tip. Michelle said she recently discovered the convenience of frozen pies. They've made her holiday desserts easier. No. Do not feel bad. Let me ask you this question, Michelle. Do you make your own ketchup? Heinz does such a good job. Why would you? So please, when you think about it, frozen pies is a nice way to help you serve your family. I meant to go ahead and do my apron note first, and I didn't have the right one up here. My apron note for today is that you are the art in the art and science of homemaking. Michelle, you are the art in the art and science of homemaking. Your art is what you bring to that table, to that home, to that gathering. If you are dragged, worn out hag when you come to the table and you're looking like this because you've been trying to make a pie, nobody's going to be served well by that. If you can purchase a delicious frozen pecan pie, apple pie with lattice crust, whatever, it's delicious, it's tasty, and you believe it serves your family, then girlfriend, buy it and serve it. Now, here's another little trick from Miss Denise. If you don't want people to know that you purchased it, you get yourself a nice little Corningware pie dish. And when you get that pie, you take it out of the frozen dish, put it in your pie dish, pop it in the oven. Nobody will ever know. It's not their business. If they come to your house to look like she gave us a frozen pie, then they need to take their little self right on home, because that is not the idea. The whole idea of Thanksgiving is to celebrate being together, to be appreciative for the many blessings that we have. And Lord knows, with the past few years that we've all gone through, we need that blessing. I was looking at a picture of a couple of years ago from a celebration for myself, and two of the people in that picture are no longer here. And I thought, oh, They won't be here this Thanksgiving. So, Michelle, the purpose is for us to enjoy and gather close the people that we have and be thankful. So, whatever kind of pie or dessert you need to put on the table, do. And like I said, my daughter-in-law extraordinaire makes the desserts now. I don't even worry about it, but I will get out I will sometimes do the peach cobbler, or I will do a pecan pie, because she does banana pudding, sweet potato pie, cherry cheesecakes, and all kind of other stuff. Oh, I just can't wait until Thanksgiving. But anyway, there's that. So yes, it is okay. So Dee says she does homemade cranberry sauce. She cuts all her vegetables, prepares her candy yam casserole, excuse me, and bakes all her pies the night before. Yeah, get that all done the night before so that the day of, you can be somewhat just a little bit more relaxed. So yes, do all that the night before. Julie, you know what? This menu that I'm having, we have the same menu since I was born. There is nothing that has changed, at least not as far as I know. My grandmother made this same menu. My mom made the menu for us, and now we make the same thing. And my mom would say every year, well, what are we having? What's the menu? And I'm like, Mom, we have the same thing every year. You know what the menu is? Well, then it would be, well, what do you want me to bring? So that's the other thing too, Michelle, and my other young homemakers out there. Don't feel like you have to make everything. Delegate. So as the host, typically you will provide the meat, the dressing, and the beverages. However, if you have single men that are coming to the event, many times they will bring beverages because they don't cook. Now, not all of them, but a lot of times they don't cook. And I know when my husband's school would have their holiday celebration, he always brought the cheese ball. He would go to Kroger's and buy a nice little cheese ball in the deli and take that, because he didn't cook like that. And he didn't ask me to make a dish for him to take to school. I would have. He just didn't. He would just buy a cheese ball. So many times, and then one brother-in-law, since he didn't have his own family, he would pick up beverages and he would bring the drinks. So delegate. And I got another point about drinks coming up, because somebody had left a question about that. But yes, but thank you. Hillary, that is Jackie Kennedy. That is not you on that picture. That is too cute. But she says she loves watching an experienced homemaker. Oh, you got my Christmas truck apron. Oh, thank you so much. I am so glad that you love it. I want you to know, Hillary, that has been our bestseller. We just have one of those left. They've been like flying off the shelf. But yeah, that was our bestseller last year, and it's been a bestseller this year. But I think my gingerbread apron is going to knock it off its pedestal once we get the gingerbread one up. But anyway, thank you. Thank you. And I see your Jackie Bouvier over there. So that is too funny. But I'm glad you're here. So let us know what we can help you with. Yeah, Vicki, timing is everything for Thanksgiving. So now, MJ, tell us your name. You have good luck making green bean casserole and cheesy potato casserole in the crock pot. And that is something I forgot to mention. So thank you, MJ, for bringing that up. Now, I want you guys to remember, usually when I'm doing my Thanksgiving shows, well, not usually, several times when I've done my Thanksgiving shows, Miss Leona Dooley has co-hosted with me. And I'm hoping if she has time, she can pop in tonight, because she always has some interesting tips to share that I don't think of. This is one tip that I learned from her yesterday, or was it Monday, when she did her lunchtime with Leona and she was doing holiday prep. She talked about getting out your crock pots and your other cooking utensils to help you prep. I didn't think about, other than putting my greens in the slow cooker, I didn't think about using those other appliances that I have, because they help to give you additional cooking space. So yes, you can do your green bean casserole or a potato casserole in your crock pot, Have it on the counter set aside, set it on warm, and it's ready to go. And you're not using up stuff on the cooktop. So you can have that going while you're working on something else. And that's why sometimes I'll put my greens in the slow cooker, because that way I can just let them cook. They're on the counter, they're out of the way. And then I've still got my 4 eyes on my cooktop to make whatever else I need to make. Now, Ronnie said she always does her turkey in a roasting bag. And Ronnie, I used to do that. And I tell you, a roasting bag is amazing. So for you young homemakers out there, if you've not tried a roasting bag, do so. Try it once or twice and see how you like it. It roasts your turkey nicely. Now, here's the thing. You have to get everything all together, get your fruit and all that stuff stuffed inside it, get it in the bag, get it tied up and put it in your roasting pan and get it in the oven. It will reduce your cooking time because the roasting bag keeps it so nicely sealed and tight. It's like the bag constantly basted because the juices in there are constantly like going up and then coming down and bathing the turkey. It is so flavorful, and it cooks usually in less than 3 hours if you use a roasting bag. And then once it's done, you untie it, take it out, and it's ready to, after you let it rest, it'll be ready to be sliced. So try a roasting bag and see what you think. I use a roasting pan. I've got one of those old kind of like black or dark blue speckled enamel roasting pans that used to belong to my husband's mother. It has a top on it, and I roast my turkey in that. I will layer maybe I will cut up 3 large carrots, put them on the bottom, 3 stalks of celery, cut them up, put them on the bottoms. I will slice an onion, put it on the bottom, and I will set the turkey on top of that. So that serves as my rack. Many of the young homemakers today have more like a shallow, open roasting pan with a rack in the bottom. The purpose of putting the turkey on the rack is to keep the skin and the back from sticking. So I use the vegetables as my rack, but it also gives me additional flavor. I will also pour a quart of water in the bottom of the roaster if I'm roasting a turkey. If I'm roasting a chicken, I will pour 2 cups of water in the bottom of the roaster. Then when I put the lid on, again, you've got all those flavors and juices and the condensation to bathe the turkey. But the additional water that I put in gives me additional broth to use for gravy and dressing and that kind of thing. So do try the turkey bag. Oh, wait, no, Michelle, she says she does make her own ketchup. Boom. Okay, girlfriend, I am not mad at you. Well, I'm going to tell you, I do not. But I am planning to try to make some chili sauce. But I don't make my own ketchup because, like I said, Heinz does such a good job, and I just use theirs. All right, that is too funny. So Hillary preps and bakes the day before. She roasts the turkey early, she tints it, and then bakes the other stuff while it rests. So now, for those of you who don't know what Hillary means when she says she tints the turkey, she puts it on one of those open roasting pans, probably sits on a rack of something or another, and then she tints it with aluminum foil. And when she roasts it in the oven, the aluminum foil serves as the tint or the cover to help with the roasting and the condensation and that kind of thing. Hey, Carolyn, I think I had a question from you. Let's see. I think I did have a question from you. Nope, that was Nikki from South Carolina. There was Nikki. Okay, so there are those. Well, maybe if I didn't, I don't know. We'll see. Michelle says she doesn't hide that she's using frozen pies. They're good. No, I wouldn't worry about it. But, you know, now you ladies know what I mean. You guys have all been to the PTA meeting or the this or the that, and you've seen the mom stand over there like, did you see what she brought in? You know, whatever. If you need to put it in your own bowl, put it in your own bowl. I'm just saying. The whole mom. Hello, good to have you with us. Yep, they can take their little selves home. Let's see. Rosemary says Grandma Stouffer's recipe when we have lasagna. Yes, I love Stouffer's. And that's not a Thanksgiving dish, but it could be. And you are absolutely right. So now let's just touch on that for a minute. Because one of the things that I really want to encourage all of my homemakers, but particularly my young homemakers who are just starting their families or have just, just kind of been in that role for a little while, I really want to encourage you to create your own holiday tradition. Now, because you're going to be probably going to dinner at your folks or at his folks or at her folks or whomever, but I encourage you to start your own family tradition of just you and your nuclear family. So if it's just a young couple or you and some kids or whatever, maybe it's just you and your kids, you and the couple, you have another couple over, or maybe you invite over, or, I don't know. And the thing here though is that you can do it the week before the real Thanksgiving, or you could do it the week after. Probably before is better because Christmas is too soon after that. But it doesn't have to be turkey and dressing. You can just say we're going to have a pre-Thanksgiving and early Thanksgiving. We're going to have a day of thanks, and you can serve whatever you like. But the whole idea is just for that immediate family just to sit there and bond and grow and enjoy that time together. And you can make it special and nice as you like. You can serve hot dogs and have a picnic in the living room and just say, this is going to be our day of thanks and we're going to enjoy being together and do some fun things. So just think about that. And so some cultures, the lasagna would be the dish that they're going to have on the table. Other cultures may be egg rolls and egg drop soup and some kind of rice dish. Some cultures, it could be some kind of enchiladas or whatever. It doesn't have to be turkey and dressing and mashed potatoes and green beans. Doesn't have to be. Okay. Yeah, so Hillary says she's been doing dinners for years and she bakes the pies except pecan. Yeah, Marie Callender does a beautiful pie. Frozen pies are very convenient. Love them. Hey, Deb, good to have you. So Heather says, hey, Heather, and I love her name, Heather Smether. She has one small oven, so she makes the turkey early and then puts it in the crock pot with its juices. Boom! What a great idea. That is something I've not thought about. Making the turkey the day before and put it in the crock pot with its juices. That is a great idea. Something else you can also do, you can make the turkey the day before. And if you've got some of those Brilliance Rubbermaid storage containers like I have, put it in the container with its juices and refrigerate it so that it stays moist. And then when you serve it on the table, you're going to put it in a serving platter large enough that once you take it out, you might just need to drizzle it with your little juice or something like that. So yes. So Heather, thank you for introducing that concept. See, ladies, I told you people would come up with some stuff. So yeah, all right. So Rosemary, she uses the back burner of the stove top to warm up a casserole that she cooked the night before. Yes. And see, I like to use the burners in the front, but the ones in the back, you got something cooked the day before, set it back there, and then it kind of come to temperature. Depending upon what kind of dish you have it in, something may even be able to go into the microwave. But if you're like me, I got one house, one kitchen, a regular size oven. I don't have one of those fancy kitchens with, professional ovens, and you got an oven above and an oven down and 6 burners. I got a cooktop with 4 burners and one regular oven and a microwave. So I have to really make sure that I am using my cooktop, my oven, everything wisely. But I'm going to start using my crock pot more because I hadn't thought about that. Because once those greens are done, they can stay in the crock pot. The mac and cheese typically doesn't go in a crock pot because I bake it in a dish like this. So it's something I might cut or scoop. But those green beans can be cooked and put in a crock pot to keep them warm. So I can do that, definitely. So Carol says she has turkey, sweet potato casserole, mac and cheese, and dressing in the oven. So ladies, now let's give Carol some suggestions on how she can manage her oven time. So Carol, we just had a couple suggestions already that you could either consider doing your turkey the day before and then getting it sliced up and put it in an airtight container with the juices, Or you can put it in the oven, say it's 6 or 7, get it out by 10. And then while the turkey's in the oven and you're getting all those juices off of the turkey, make up your mac and cheese, make up your dressing, and make up your sweet potato casserole and have them sitting on top of the stove. So once the turkey's out, you can just pop them in. The other thing that I'll do, which I forgot to mention, is once the turkey is done or even halfway done, I'll get the turkey out of the oven and I'll get some kind of a cup or baster and I'll get some of the juices out of that turkey and put it on top of my dressing to give it that extra flavor. So the turkey baster is good for that. Like you can just squish it and then squish up a bunch of juice into the turkey baster and then squish it all over the top of the on top of the dressing. Do that a couple of times. Or if you've got just a big ladle some of the broth out of that turkey roaster and over the top of your dressing while it's sitting there on top of the stove, ready to go in. And then once the turkey's out, you can put your sweet potato casserole, your mac and cheese, and your dressing can all go in the oven at the same time. Now, this is kind of funny because I one of the questions that people always ask, or I should say frequently ask, is what time can you serve dinner? And it says Thanksgiving dinner is the only dinner you can serve at 4 o'clock. Isn't that interesting? I don't know who thought that rule up. That's something that I found. But typically, we will have Thanksgiving dinner at 4 o'clock. We will also frequently have Christmas dinner at 4 o'clock as well. But so if you plan on a 4 o'clock dinner, then you want your turkey out of that oven no later than 12 o'clock because you want it to be able to rest so you've got time to get your other things in. As far as your dinner rolls and cornbread and those kind of things, I like to pop those things in about 20 minutes before I'm ready to serve. So while I say, okay, the turkey's done, I'll get my husband to come in and he's going to slice the turkey up with his electric knife. Me and my sisters will start getting things out on the counter, making sure that everything is where it needs to be. And while we're doing all that, then the dinner rolls and the cornbread's in the oven so that when it comes out, we can slice the cornbread, put the rolls in a basket, and then be ready to go. So the whole mom says she's never hosted, looks forward to doing that one day, maybe next year. Well, whole mom, one of the things I'm encouraging all of my young homemakers to do is host a little something for your immediate family. Just say, honey, kids, we're going to have our own private Thanksgiving celebration, and then this will give you good practice. And then just cook something. It doesn't have to be a turkey. It could be a chicken. It could be a roast. It could be whatever you want it to be, but just go through, just go through the steps and let the kids make the little drawings and set things up. And then just have that time to your family together. So Heather says the rest of her family will debone and crock pot their turkey. That's a great idea, Heather. That really is. So Dee says they have the same menu every year too. She's open for people to bring dishes, but at first I was not. You don't have to, but now, oh yeah, girl, let them folks bring something over because it costs a lot to feed a lot of folks. So yeah, let them bring something over. And they also feel good about contributing. Okay, so MJ is Mary Jo. All right, Mary Jo, we'll remember that. You're buying it for sure. Oh, Jackie's her inspiration. Yes, I did love Jackie Kennedy. Beauty, grace. Yes, I agree. Just like us, all of us. Thank you. So, Andrea, I don't have an electric roaster, but I was watching this one YouTuber that said she found an electric roaster, like a turkey roaster, on sale at Walmart and bought it. And then she roasted her turkey in it. I thought, I would love to have an electric roaster. So I don't know. I might be on the lookout for that. And that's a way to use your other appliances to free up your cooktop. So boom, Andrea, good for you too. So I have not tried my stuffing in a crock pot. Dee, you're going to have to send us that recipe. How do you make stuffing in a crock pot? I make mine in the oven, so I don't know. I might give it a try and we'll just see. I wish Leona was on tonight so she could share that because she's probably done that, but she is such an excellent cook. Speaking of Leona, let me just say this too. So, oh, yeah, I got to come back and engage. I forgot to do that. I'm enjoying talking with you guys so much. So let me just say, there's a lot of stuff I forgot to say. So before we go much further, let me just say, welcome to Homemaking with Purpose, where we have the best ideas, interviews, and information for today's homemaker. I am Denise Jordan, your host. And tonight's episode of Homemaking with Purpose is brought to you by my online apron shop, Apron Diva. Pretty and practical, we believe that an apron can be a homemaker's best accessory. So here's my online apron shop. And this is our week's feature apron. It is the Crystal, the Christmas truck, our Santa baby, and we only have one of those left. We have one Christmas truck left, and then this one we call Holly, which is our Yuletide plaid. So these are the features for the week, and then here are our other Christmas aprons. We also only have one Hanukkah apron left as well. Our early bird Black Friday starts on Friday, November 4th. So we're starting our early bird Black Friday early. A lot of people are looking for sales early, so we're trying to help people out so they can start their gift giving. And our pledge to you guys is to get things out within 2 business days so you get your holiday gifts in a timely fashion. Excuse me. So there's that. The other thing that I forgot to say is for those of you who are just joining us, we are talking all things Thanksgiving, and I'm answering your questions. And I also want to encourage you to download my printable 21 days to get your house ready for the holidays. We'll talk about that in a minute, but I do have it linked in the description box. And then to check out Leona Dooley's Thanksgiving Prep series. And you're going to have to look around. She's got a Thanksgiving playlist, but that's not the one I'm talking about. I do want you to check out Leona's Thanksgiving playlist. But the last week or two, she has been doing either her lunchtime with Leona or another show on how to prepare for the Thanksgiving holiday. Her last one on Monday was how to set up your buffet for your Thanksgiving or your Christmas dinner. And boom, was it ever amazing. I sat there like I had my little pen and paper and I was taking all kind of notes because she had all kind of ideas that were just genius. So do check out her channel and check out those pieces. She's also going to start to do some shorts to kind of help get some of that information in there because she and I both are particularly concerned about our young homemakers. And then Sierra, one of our young homemakers, had just indicated how helpful it was for us to share that information. So we are really on a mission to make sure that you guys are comfortable. And I'm so glad that Leona was able to do the preps that she did, the videos that she did, because since I've been under the weather, I've not been able to do some of the Thanksgiving videos that I normally would have. And Leona stepped into the breach beautifully. So be sure and check out her channel. If you have not subscribed to her, please do so. And also you want to get on her mailing list so you can get her Thanksgiving she's got like a little Thanksgiving cookbook kind of thing that she's got going. So be sure to check that out too. Okay. So now let me back up. Okay. So anyway, our early bird Black Friday starts this Friday. We'll have our lowest markdowns and best deals of the season. So be sure to visit us at aprondiva.com. If you have a question, put #Q before the question and I'll try to find it because Nikki Blue Skies is not going to be on with us tonight. And then that way, either I can find it or the ladies can help me find it. So there's that. So Deb, and hey Deb, it is so good to have you with us. Let us know how things are going with you. She said she's not thought about doing crock pot stuffing. So I'm going to try that, Dee. You're going to send me that recipe, but I'm going to send me, not necessarily your recipe, but send me what it is that you do to do crock pot stuffing. Like, do you just put it in the crock pot and set it on what? So that's what I need to know. And then Dee says she's loving tonight's discussion. Guys, excuse me for being so indelicate, wiping my nose on screen. I'm sorry, but I'll try not to do that. Mickey Blue Skies is horrified when I do that. So sometimes I remember and I'll try to turn around, and then I'll wipe my nose and then I'll turn back around. She's horrified so she's not on tonight though, so she won't see me. Okay. But thank you, Dee. I'm glad you're loving this discussion. And I am so glad you're here. And how is Queen G? How is Queen Jenny doing? Let us know. We want to know. So Limitless, hello. Yes, it is November. And we are talking all things Thanksgiving, and we can't wait till it gets here. Vicky, yes, Stouffer's is very convenient. I love their chicken lasagna with vegetables. I love most of Stouffer stuff. It's really good. Greens in the crock pot is very nice. I'll put greens. I've got a Hamilton Beach slow cooker. I put them in there. You can cook them for about 6-7 hours. If they're not as tender as you like, cook them longer, and they're delicious. Put those turkey legs or whatever it is you're going to use to flavor them with. They're perfect. So Michelle goes to her aunt's house on Thursday, and then she started her home family dinner the Friday after. Good. Yeah. So her today's self appreciates the forethought of her 30-ish-year-old self. So yeah, that's good that your family can sit down to enjoy the time together, because we can get so hectic and scattered when we've got so many people in. But when it's just you and your nuclear family, or you and your boo and another couple, you've got the time to really kind of think and more on each other. So that's just something to think about. Sarah, I'm so glad you're here. Sarah, I go live every Wednesday at 7:45 Eastern. Every Wednesday. Now, last Wednesday was a modified live. I was sick and I just couldn't. So I was able enough to do a talking head piece and stitch it into a Thanksgiving replay that I wanted people to see, because, when Leona and I do those shows, we cover some important things, and what I miss, she catches. But yes, every Wednesday at 7:45, I go live. And while you guys are on, you guys let me know, what do you want to see me talk about next? What should we talk about? So I feel like we've talked about Thanksgiving enough, maybe. So what do we need to go talk about next? Okay, so Nitty puts her candied sweet potatoes in the crock pot. I can see that. I can certainly see that. What is your Nesco? A Nesco what? Does she have like a Nesco roaster? I'm not sure what that is. Oh, she's processing pie pumpkins. That sounds fun. Okay. So Dee says her mom always made her gravy from the turkey juice. She's good with McCormick gravy packages, but she tries from scratch now. You know what, Dee? When you make your turkey, you're going to have all that broth that's left over, and then get that McCormick gravy package, get it mixed up, and then add your own broth to that. Now it's semi-homemade, or it's homemade, so it's not store-bought or anything like that. And it's got the flavor and the seasonings from your turkey. One thing to be concerned about, though, is you want to make sure you don't get it too salty. So don't add any extra salt until you get it all mixed up, and then you taste it first. And then if you like the way it tastes, you're good. If you need to add more salt or whatever, you can. But yeah, get that McCormick gravy packet out, get it mixed up, and then use your own broth. Maybe put in a couple giblets or a couple pieces of turkey, and you got homemade gravy. Girl, you got to make it easy. Oh, Hillary, congratulations. She's going to have her 25th wedding anniversary this Sunday. I applaud you. Great, great. Okay, you're welcome. Congratulations. So last year, Bree says her and her husband had Thanksgiving dinner just for two. They had just gotten married and had enough family time for the year. So she roasted a chicken instead of turkey. Boom, there's one of my young homemakers, and that's exactly what I want you to do. Have a special Thanksgiving for just you and your boo. If you like, you can invite another couple or even another 2 couples over, just, 4 to 6 of you, and you can begin practicing your dinner party skills, that kind of thing. But it's also quiet enough that you can just enjoy each other and just really take the time to think about what you're thankful for. And you said you roasted a chicken instead of a turkey. You could serve hamburgers. It doesn't matter because, again, you are the art in the art and science of homemaking. So however you have it put together is what counts. So I like it. I like it. I like it. I'm going to start looking for those roasters. Oh, the gingerbread apron. Oh, it is so cute. And let me tell you guys my challenge. Well, I've got a lot of people on. I don't want to forget it because I got some other questions to get to. But let's do Happy Meal real quick. We'll do Happy Meal and then I'll come back to the questions because I want to make sure I get through those. But I gotta go. Okay, Happy Meal. So Happy Meal, the apron note for today is you're the art in the art and science of homemaking. That means what it is that you bring to the table, to the decor, to the home, to the environment, to the atmosphere is what makes that a home. So that's what I want you to think about. Whether you're a stay-at-home mom, you work outside the home, you work part-time, if it's you by yourself or if it's you and your boo, you are a homemaker and you are the art in the art and science of homemaking. So think about how you're going to decorate your home for Thanksgiving. If you're going to just have a plain white table, plain white tablecloth, plain white plates, whatever. It doesn't have to be fancy. If you're going to use colorful paper plates, whatever. If you're just going to use your everyday stuff and maybe put out a wine glass instead of your regular drinking glass, just whatever you bring is what you bring. And that's the art. All right. So I was getting ready to talk about my challenge. So my challenge, the Apron Diva challenge to all of you is to create some kitchen memories. Well, I don't want to say kitchen memories. The challenge is to create holiday memories. So it's called Making Holiday Memories. So it's the Apron Diva Making Holiday Memories Challenge. And we are challenging you to put on your aprons, which unlocks your superpowers. Remember, putting on your apron unlocks your superpowers and make some memories with your family. And you can do it several different ways. You can bake or decorate cookies. Like you can buy those slice and bake cookies at Kroger's and decorate them with your family. You can make your own. You can buy one of those gingerbread house kits at Michael's or Joann's and decorate a gingerbread house with your family. You can decorate your house for the holidays, put up your tree, put your apron on because you're going to always be looking for Scotch tape or something and have pockets available. Wrap Christmas gifts, make Christmas cards with your family, any kind of DIY because you crafters always need pockets. But do whatever you want to do to make some memories for your family, then send me a picture. And then Blue Skies and I will share the pictures on our community tab and give you a shout out. I am so looking forward to getting my little nieces over and my granddaughters and bake Christmas cookies. And I'm going to wear my gingerbread apron and maybe decorate a gingerbread house, but just something fun. Plus, guys, here's the thing. All my granddaughters live far away from me, except for my little great granddaughter here. They live close to their other grandmother. So I want them to think I'm the best grandmother. So I got to do special stuff when they're here so they don't forget me. So make some holiday memories and send me and Blue Skies a picture. And then we're going to put it on our community tab and give you a shout out. The challenge starts on Monday, November 7th and runs through Wednesday, December 21st. So that gives you plenty of time to think about what you want to do to be purposeful, to make some holiday memories. Because after all, we are homemaking with purpose. And keep in mind, it does not have to be grand. Just something that makes sense for you and your family. You guys just maybe sit down and make some Christmas cookies. Maybe you guys decorate some Christmas cards. Maybe you sit down and write out your Christmas cards. Maybe you guys just make spaghetti for dinner, whatever, just whatever makes sense for your family. And whereas I would love for the apron in the picture to be one you purchased from Apron Diva, it doesn't have to be. Use whatever you have. Remember, we are homemaking with purpose, so use whatever you have. Okay, so our making holiday memory challenge. The other happy meal that I wanted to talk about was that I want to thank everyone who was kind enough to check on me while I was under the weather. And as you can see, I'm still kind of sort of under the weather. But I want to thank everybody did. I got so many nice comments on Instagram and other places, wishing me well and sending prayers and making suggestions. So here I am tonight. And I do want to say a particular thank you to Jerry Barber and Debbie Johnson because they were so helpful. To tell you the truth, I started out drinking tea to romanticize my life, and I ended up drinking more tea to save my life because I drank enough tea to float a battleship so I didn't get dehydrated, but also to help, minister to myself while I was trying to get over this cold. So Jerry Barber, thank you for the tea you sent. Debbie Johnson, thank you for the tea you sent. Trust me, it has been well used. And then Mickey Blue Skies even dropped off a couple of boxes. So guys, thank you very much for thinking of me. Also, just to let you guys know, my Apron Diva shop is connected to my YouTube channel now. So when you're on the channel, on the home screen, if you look at the tabs at the top, it says store. You can click there and it takes you right to the store. All right. So there's the happy mail. There's the apron note. So there's that. Okay, let me get back to the other questions before I forget. Oh, Hillary says she's been watching for a long time, just never commented. I am so glad you finally did, Hillary. I appreciate it. Oh, Hillary said she got her apron in 2 days. Well, that's our promise to our customers for the holiday season. We want to try to get things out within 2 days so that within a week you've got your product so you can get your gift giving stuff all lined up and checked off and all that. Appetizer ideas. Okay, so Dee says, what's your thoughts on appetizer ideas? Okay, ladies, we got to help our sister out here. So jump in. What's your thought on appetizers? I like to do crackers and cheese and grapes, like just little clumps of grapes, maybe 3 or 4 on a clump. Crackers, cheese, maybe a cheese ball that they can spread a little cheese with, and maybe some carrot sticks. That's about it. I don't like to do a lot because people tend to just want to get right down to it. But those kinds of things are nice. You can buy those little trays at Kroger or Publix or something like that. But that's what I like, just something simple. Because if I get too much appetizer, then it cuts my appetite. What do you ladies think? What are your thoughts about appetizers? What appetizers do you like to have? Let's see. They're talking to each other. Oh, Veronica is glad she found the channel. Thank you. Let us know. Let me know whatever you guys try and send me a comment. And also, I'm planning content for the next quarter. So let me know what you need me to do for you for next quarter. What do you want to see on the show? And then what do you want to see in the way of weekly videos? Hey, we are glad you are here. You are not late and you can always catch the replay. Oh, girl, you missed a lot. We've been talking about everything. We've been talking about everything. It has been so much fun. This has been a fun discussion. I'll try to catch up in a minute. Hey there, Florence. It is so good to have you join me. I'm glad you're here. I'm liking that crock pot stuffing idea too. So Dee's going to have to let us know. Dee, put it in the chat what it is that you do. You're going to have to let us know what you do. Hillary, thank you. Thank you. But I tell you, Mickey Blue Skies would be horrified if she saw me doing that. Oh, and look, Rachel, thank you so much for the super chat. I truly appreciate it. Okay, so now for the refresh, and I told about how I do my holiday planning. Like I talked about what I do first, what I do second, what I do third. I gave examples of what I cooked the day before or a couple days before, and then what I could cook the day of. Talked about my menu, that kind of thing. That's what I did. Oh, Nesco is a large roaster. Oh, so Mindy says Thanksgiving's going to be hard because they lost their mom a few months ago. Yeah, Mindy, we lost our mom last year. So last year was the first Thanksgiving without mom, and it was very difficult. And then my friend Mary at Mary's Nest talked about when I think they lost their dad. I think she said he used to make the gravy or something like that. It's going to be hard. Some people will set a place for the table for the person that's missing. We don't do that, but we will say a prayer and maybe have a thought about the person that's missing or say something funny they used to do or whatever, but it will be hard. And somebody's going to either have to make that dish that they normally made or you'll talk about something that person did. What I do encourage you to do, though, is experience the loss. Talk about, you know what, mom used to love this, this, and this. And it's okay to talk about it. You might get a little teary, and that's okay too. What you don't want to do is just pretend that there's not an absence or an empty space at the table. Don't pretend that. It's okay to kind of have some feelings and then to go on, because your mom would want you guys to enjoy the day. And maybe somebody's got a new baby, and somebody might say, oh, you know what, mom would have just loved that new baby. Whatever it is, just go ahead and bring your mom into it, talk about her, and enjoy your day. But yeah, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. Thank you, Hillary. I'm getting there. Well, So Limitless says she's waiting for them to go on sale. I've not seen the sales yet. Usually it's about 2 weeks before Thanksgiving when they go on sale. I'll be looking as well. Yeah, and so the Nesco is a large electric turkey roaster. And yes, guys, let's send out good prayers to Mindy as they have this first holiday without their mom. That's going to be tough. Let's see. So Sharon Tuck says she makes her gravy the same way. Yeah, delicious. Now I'll buy Heinz gravy in a jar. They have delicious turkey gravy. And then I'll pour that jar into a pot. And then I'll add my turkey broth and a few other little fixings and gravy extraordinaire. Well, yeah, we are. We talked about this, Rachel, a couple of weeks ago. I talked about trying to plan ahead and buying some things ahead of time that you think you might need. Just start picking up those things now. So if you think about it, we're hoping that we can get turkeys, but if not, in the meantime, pick up at least 2 roasted chickens, if not 3, depending upon the size of your family. You may not be able to get all 3 at one shopping trip, but get 2 today and 2 another time so that if you can't get a turkey, you've got a roasted chicken that you can use for your holiday dinner. Do that. Start picking up your like your stuffing mix. I like to start as a base with the Pepperidge Farm cornbread classic dressing mix, and then I make my own pan of dressing of cornbread, and then zhuzh it all up from there. Pick that up. Pick up your sweet potatoes, like your produce. Pick up your sweet potatoes. If you do mashed potatoes instead of sweet potatoes, pick up your white potatoes so you've got those ready, or a box of mashed potato mix, whatever it is that you like to use. Pick up the basic things that you need. Right now, they've got plenty of frozen pies and different things like that. Start getting those things now, so if there is a shortage, we don't have to worry about it. Remember, when the very early people celebrated Thanksgiving, they didn't necessarily have all the things we use today. They used what they had. So you can bring to the table whatever it is that you have. Your little kids aren't going to care. They're going to be coloring turkeys on the paper and all of that. All right. Oh, there it is. Slow cooker stuffing, cooked veggies, all the seasonings, broth, eggs into the crock pot. Cook for 4 hours on high and 8 hours on low. So do you cook the vegetables first and then mix them all together, or do you just put it all in? That's what I'm not sure about. So cook the veggies, all the recipes, seasonings, broth, eggs into the crock pot. And then cook on high for, yeah. So let us know. Are we putting it all in and then cooking it on high for 4 hours and then 8 on low? Or do we saute the vegetables first? That's what I'm not sure about. You know, Rachel, I don't know. I don't know about that. I do know that truck drivers move a lot of the stuff, and if they use diesel, then that's playing into goods and services. So we just have to try to be as prepared as we can. So I've been encouraging people to start early and picking up what they're going to need for their holiday meals. So when you buy your food for Thanksgiving, if you can afford to, get what you're going to need for Christmas too. So, if you can get a turkey and then a couple chickens, do that just so you're planned ahead. Hey, Kim's Real Life. Glad to have you with this. Yep. That white enamel roaster. Oh, I've got my mother-in-law's black speckled enamel roaster. That's what I use. That's what I use. So yeah, so no, I'm fine. I'm fine with that. Um, and I certainly wouldn't expect you to mail me an electric roaster. But yeah, but thank you for the thought, though. Thank you for the thought. Oh no, Jerry, I'm not out of the gingerbread apron. I don't have Blue Skies is putting the gingerbread apron up on the site tomorrow because we're going to be dropping the gingerbread apron and some other new Christmas aprons for our Black Friday celebration. Now, those won't be on sale for Black Friday, but they'll be available for purchase. However, I went to a pop-up. You probably saw it when I knocked everything over. I went to a pop-up on Saturday and I did take a few of those gingerbread aprons with me and the ladies loved them. But I do have some set aside to go up on the site. So no. I do have that. And I just can't wait to make mine with my little granddaughters. Okay, appetizers, D. Bacon roll-ups, hot cheese and pepperoni dip. Oh, deviled eggs. I forgot deviled eggs. Everybody has deviled eggs. Yes, relish tray, meat, cheese crackers, fruit trays, and meatballs. So yeah, so those are good ideas for appetizers. Hey, Walter, I am so glad you joined us tonight. I am so sorry that I missed your last show, but I had some other commitments the last couple of weeks, and I got another one this Saturday, so I won't be able to be there this Saturday. But after this coming Saturday, all my regular Saturday stuff should be back on track, and I should be able to get to things. But thank you. We are talking all things Thanksgiving. We are having a ball. We are all getting hungry too. Oh, Deb, what a nice tradition. So she says she has an apron from her grandmother-in-law, and whoever is the hostess wears her apron. How nice. I love that. Take a picture when you guys are making those memories and send me a picture. Kim's has her grandmother's aprons and she wears them at the holidays. Great, Kim, great. Oh, Walter, thank you. I'm getting over this, whatever it is. It's slowly but surely I'm getting there. Dee's thanking everybody for their ideas. Appetizers. Her mom always had olives, gherkins, carrot sticks, cheese cubes, and she likes to put out hot pepper jelly over cream cheese and crackers. Yes. My grandma always had gherkin pickles, carrot sticks, and she would a lot of times have those cheese cubes. Oh, Tracy, you know what? Apron Diva was born. I'm sorry, I'm off target now, but I teach traditional homemaking for today's homemaker, and I was always cooking and cleaning and that kind of thing. And then one Mother's Day, my daughter bought me this beautiful apron, black and white stripes with daisies, and I loved it. So I started wearing it in all my videos, particularly when I was getting close to doing my Thanksgiving stuff. And then one day it was in the wash, so I did a video and I didn't have it on. And then people were like, "What? No apron?" And I'm like, "Well, I guess they expect me to wear aprons all the time. And I do, and I did. So I just make sure that whenever I'm doing any cooking or whatever, I would always do wear an apron. Well, then people would say, well, where do you buy your aprons? And so I said, oh, you could try here, you could try there. Then I thought, well, why don't I just sell my own aprons? So I talked to a friend who does branding and marketing and stuff and said, you know what? I would like to open an apron shop. And she helped me figure it out. And so I've been able to, get Apron Diva started. So I've got some new plans for the first quarter for next year to even kind of expand things a little bit. But but that's how things got started. But I'm off track. But there you go, Tracy. Oh, Jerry likes red and green peppers sliced, put on a tray with diced block cheese. Yes, that's always good too. We always did veggies and a dip, but I also liked holiday nuts too. Oh, so Bree says they never did eat before Thanksgiving dinner. It was unintentional fasting, but now she likes to have some snacks, fruit, nuts, and things before dinner. Okay. So Kim said she has sons and she's on the other side of the holidays. So she's just grateful that they come and she'll accommodate their schedules. Grandchildren do make Christmas wonderful as well as Thanksgiving. And here's the thing, we talked about this, I think it was last week or the week before, in that many times you might need to alternate, like you young homemakers and you young couples may need to alternate homemakers with your families. This year you go to his house, this year you come to your house, your side of the family, that kind of thing. Or we will plan to have the holiday the day before or the day after so that we could all get together. So there's that. Kim does a lot of appetizers and they're usually gone before dinner. She's got a lot of sons and grandsons and they all have hollow legs. Okay, I got that. Okay, so cheese, crackers, and angel eggs. I got you. Oh, thank you, Kim. I haven't done any of those lately. I haven't done I haven't done any video lately. This is the first time I've been on video in almost 2 weeks. I just wasn't up to it. So I'm glad you guys are pleased. So Sarah's going to try to do more of a Southern style cuisine for Thanksgiving. She's going to make my mac and cheese and collard greens. And she practiced, yes. The mac and cheese is pretty easy and you really shouldn't have any problems with it. Just follow the recipe as I've got it. You shouldn't have any trouble. And the collard greens are pretty easy as well. The biggest thing is to make sure the collard greens are seasoned nicely and that they're cooked long enough that they're tender. So yeah, it should be fun. Send me an email and we can talk about it. Yeah. Yeah, and Hillary, I definitely agree with you. It's like all of a sudden you realize, because when I looked at that picture, I was just like, oh, it just reminds you that this space is now empty. But there is a circle of life, and there's usually a new birth or something that kind of helps to kind of help move you along. So, and we each will go that way. So, yeah. So, yeah. Oh, drinks. Thank you, Dee. I'm so glad you said that. Okay, so let me find that question. All right. So, one of the people said one of the questions was about drinks and beverages, and so they wanted me to be sure to remind people. This is Wendy Becker. She said, be sure to remind folks to start buying beverages ahead of time. Pick up juice, soda pop, sparkling cider, wine, beer, etc., because that stuff adds up quickly if you buy it all at once. So think about that. I know a lot of people spend money on bottled water. You can consider doing that, or you can just have nice pitchers of ice water placed here and there, but start buying those beverages early so that you've got those, or you can assign those to someone. And typically you might assign them to, say you've got a single guy that doesn't have a family and doesn't cook. He's probably glad to bring that. So good idea. And then another question was, is cranberry sauce really worth making? And the answer to that is absolutely. Homemade cranberry sauce is so delicious and it is very easy. It's very flavorful. However, don't be ashamed to use canned, because I use canned most of the time. I will make my homemade cranberry sauce occasionally. One other question was, I always get behind and end up with a sink full of dishes when company is about to arrive. Do you have any tips for that? Yes, I do. If I try to stay on top of my dishes by washing as I go. I try to wash as I go, but there's always some dishes that ends up in the sink right when everything's done and company's starting to ring the doorbell and I'm trying to get the table ready. I keep a box or a laundry basket, get it down in the kitchen. I put all those things that are dirty in the basket or in the box and I set it out in the garage so that it's out of sight, out of mind. I can get it out the next day and clean all those dishes up. So if you're in a pinch and you've got a sink full of dishes, you don't have time to try to load the dishwasher. Just put them in a box or in a basket and set them out in the garage, out of the way, and then you can take care of them later. Just to make sure you don't have any utensils in there that you need to kind of like get dinner going. So there's that. One other question. And one other question that I had was that watching one of my videos where I made my dressing, one of the viewers commented that they noticed I didn't saute my onions, celery, and carrots in my dressing, and they wondered why. I chop my carrots, celery, and onions so small. Sometimes I even put them in the food processor so that they're very tiny, so that by the time my dressing is baked, those have cooked through. However, many professional cooks suggest that you saute those onions, carrots, and celery, and then you mix them into your dressing to kind of help bloom the flavor, so to speak. So there's that. And one other question that I had was how to address leftovers. And you should be sure to use your Thanksgiving leftovers within 3 or 4 days after Thanksgiving. You don't want to let that food sit in the refrigerator for a week and then continue to eat it, because then, of course, things can start to go bad and you can get food poisoning. So if you don't think you're going to use all that's left, like I would box up or package up some of it immediately and put it in the freezer, maybe enough for a Sunday dinner 2 weeks from now, and get that in the freezer so that it's safe. And then you've got a couple days to have leftovers. You can make your turkey pot pie, turkey noodle soup, some kind of a turkey and dressing casserole, but some kind of fun thing, even turkey sandwiches. Oh, those turkey sandwiches after Thanksgiving, the Thanksgiving sandwiches with the turkey and the dressing and the cranberries and, the mashed potatoes and everything on it. Oh, they're just so delicious. But think about that. Think about how you're going to handle your Thanksgiving leftovers. So be sure to think about that. Let's see. Dishes, cranberry sauce, sauteing, leftovers. Oh, one other tip that I want you guys to be sure to do. You will lose your mind if you mess up your oven with a lot of drips and things during all this holiday baking. So one of the things that I always do, I have an oven liner at the bottom of my oven. I use this copper oven liner that is, I didn't bring one up either, but it's like a copper parchment oven liner and things drip on it. And then when I'm ready, I just take it out and put another one in. You can, and I'll link that in the description box, but you can also just use aluminum foil, put it on that bottom sheet, or you could put in a cookie sheet in the bottom so that when things rip down, and just know, as careful as you always are, somebody besides you might be going in and out of your oven trying to do something, and they will drip in your oven. So have that cookie sheet, aluminum foil or some kind of an oven liner so that when those drips do happen, and they will, you can remove the oven liner and not have an oven that's going to make you crazy trying to clean it. So protect that oven. That is very, very important. So I wanted to be sure and get that tip in. A couple other things that a few people asked about. And Rachel had this question. She said she tried to prep her onions one year. She wrapped them and stored them in the fridge overnight, but they caused the fridge to smell like onions. Now, the onions didn't turn brown, but the fridge smelled of onions. So she said she's a newbie and wondered what she did wrong. Should she have frozen them? Well, you can store those cut up onions ahead of time. I certainly encourage you to get those onions and different things cut up ahead of time, but store them in an airtight container, either a container or a baggie, but it needs to be airtight so that it doesn't permeate into the fridge, because the longer they sit, the stronger the odor gets. So make sure they are in an airtight container or plastic bag, and then use them within 5 to 7 days. So there's that. The other thing is you can freeze those onions in an airtight plastic bag, but make sure you squeeze all the air out so that that's done. The other question that I asked last week was, what's the number one mistake made by first-time hosts when they're cooking their turkey for the first time? And we had a good laugh talking about it. And most people responded that the biggest mistake most first-time turkey bakers make is forgetting to get out the giblets. Like into the cavity of the turkey, there's a big pile of giblets. And then in the neck cavity, there's another pile of the neck or some kind of little bag. But there's two things in there. And so they get the turkey out and then they roast the turkey with those things in it. That's probably the number one mistake. However, Karen from Karen's Finally Relaxing said that she thinks the number one biggest mistake for the first turkey is using the pop-up timer that comes in the turkey. I hadn't thought about that, but she's absolutely right that this is probably the biggest mistake. I did a little bit of checking on that too. And those pop-ups in the turkey, they're meant, you've got the little white thing and then there's like a little red outer thing and it's stuck down in the turkey and it's supposed to pop up when the turkey is completely cooked. Well, what happens inside that standard pop-up turkey timer is sometimes the tip gets dislodged and it warms as the turkey cooks, and it's supposed to melt and pop up at around 165 degrees Fahrenheit, and then that little red thing pops up. But they're not the most accurate. Sometimes they pop up and your turkey's not done. So you want to make sure you're using a bona fide meat thermometer and that the turkey is at 165 degrees Fahrenheit in the thickest part of the turkey. So don't trust those little pop-up turkey things that come in the turkey. And if you buy a butterball turkey, they don't have those little plastic pop-up things in them. They recommend that you use a bona fide meat thermometer to make sure that your turkey is cooked thoroughly. Okay. All right, so now let's see what people are talking about over here. So thank you, Dee, for reminding me to talk about the drinks. Oh, and when we were talking about drinks, make sure you set up a beverage station. And so we were talking about what to do first, second, and third. You can set up your beverage station a couple of days before Thanksgiving. You can set up your dessert station a couple of days before Thanksgiving, meaning that, like, I'll put my beverage station in my family room over in a corner, and I'll like have the punch bowl and I'll have maybe some bottles and just different things dry set up over there. But I know where I'm going to put the wassail. I know where the bottles are going to go. I know where the ice bucket's going to go, so that morning I can just tell people, okay, put this here, put that there. For the dessert station, I usually put that in the dining room on top of the buffet. So I'll have that all decorated and set out. I'll have the trays and things that I'm going to put it on already set up. So when I get ready to bring those pies out, I can just bring that pie out and set it on this stand or set it on that stand. So I'll get those done ahead of time so I don't have to worry about that too. And then my wassail is my warm apple cider punch that I make every year at Thanksgiving and Christmas. And then I will heat that on the stove, but I will put it in a punch bowl and try to keep it warm that way. Hillary had an idea. Oh, yeah. Okay. So they're talking to Hillary. Ronnie said Walmart has turkeys on sale, $1.68 a pound. Okay. So they're good. And then Vicky says chicken is great. Also, a hen or two could be a good fallback on in case you're not able to get turkey. Yes, exactly. I pick up a couple roasting chickens just in case you can't get a turkey. And then, yes, Sarah, make a small batch to practice. And they're both pretty easy to cook. So Bree is absolutely right. Hillary, I think you're right. We should have a chat about time management and not overextending or overcommitting ourselves during the holiday rush. It's okay to say no. Yeah, holiday burnout can be a thing. That's why I'll start cooking some things ahead of time so that I can just kind of pace myself. And one thing that I notice is that the older I get, I don't have as much energy as I used to have. So when I was 40 or 50, I could just like bing, 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 bing. But now at this age, I just definitely move a little bit slower. Oh, yes, Hilly, of course. I do have a P.O. box. It's my number, my address is it's on my YouTube channel. It's here in the channel, in the description box. It's in there. Oh, yes, meatballs are great appetizers. So Marie does something simple, a pumpkin-shaped cheese ball with crackers and then various kinds of meat. So yeah, that's good. Hey, Esmeralda. Oh my goodness, Angel, thank you so much for joining us tonight. How are you doing? It is good to see you. I'm glad you were able to join us. We have been talking all things Thanksgiving. We have been just kind of chatting and sharing ideas and just all kinds of stuff. We've been having so much fun. I really enjoyed tonight. This has been a great discussion, ladies, and I certainly appreciate having you guys with me. Thank you, Florence. Please trust me. I need to have this. I need to have these prayers of healing. And yes, I'll be back in a couple of weeks, Florence. I have missed you guys, and I was listening to the replay on one of Walter's shows. And then Tech Troublemaker did a great show on how to use the new community tab that everybody's getting. It was just excellent. I was taking notes on that as well. Terry says, hot cider punch in a crock pot makes the house smell so wonderful. And Terry, I could put my wassail in the crock pot. I don't know why I've not thought that. I like to keep it on the stove in a certain little red pot and then put it in the punch bowl so that I can serve it kind of prettily from there. But then I have to worry about my good ladle getting damaged. But one of these days, I'm going to have a bona fide wassail bowl, one of those old wooden ones I'm going to get from somewhere. Yes, Kimmy does have one of my aprons. I think she has the Thanksgiving one that I've got at Buffalo Check Halloween. She might, yeah, she's definitely got one of mine because I've sent her one, and she's got a lot. She's got a lot of aprons too. Because not only does she have them, and then people always also send her hers. I think she's going to try to come out with her own line. So for next year, I think she's got plans in that regard too. So yeah, Kimmy's a sweetie. Oh, Sammy does a Caribbean feast or a Southern feast. Okay. I like those ideas because we talked about the fact that everyone's feast is not the traditional feast for what we think of here. So Sammy's going to start her drinks this week. Nicole says she makes her own cranberry sauce. I love making my own homemade cranberry sauce. The last year that Justin and the girls were here for Thanksgiving, I showed Morgie how to make cranberry sauce, and she had so much fun making it. It was just so much fun doing that in the kitchen with her as well. And yes, that's one of those make ahead dishes. Ooh, Hillary's making prime rib for Christmas. Yes. A lot of people do prime rib or standing rib roast for Christmas. Oh, okay. I will send my cranberry sauce recipes. Yes, that'll be fun to do. You know what? Blue Skies told me I need to work on a cookbook, so I guess I'll start that. Okay. I put orange zest in mine as well. It gives it a really nice flavor, Nicole. And yeah, sparkling grape juice for holiday table makes the kids feel fancy. We did not mention that. Oh, one of the things that I was encouraging people to pick up was my 21 days to get your house ready for the holidays. So be sure to do that. Um, the link for this handout is in the description box, and it helps you to get your house ready for the holidays, but also helps you to think about other things. So on day one, it talks about thinking and a planning day, where you just kind of sit down and think about what are some of the things that you need to do, who's coming, any special circumstances, that kind of thing, and then you make your list. But one of the things that I also talk about on here is when you prep the children's table. And you have to think about that. If you have children coming, if it's 2, 3, or 4, one of the things that we always do is that we have a children's table. I've got a small banquet table. You could even do a small card table. And my husband will cover it with brown paper, and he will tape it down, and then he will draw turkeys on the table on the brown paper, and then we'll put like a bowl of crayons out there, and the kids can color in the turkeys and the squirrels and the pumpkins and whatever. Or I might take a coloring book and tear out pages and put those on the table, maybe put place cards down there, and the kids can make their own place card. They can just do different things at the table. And then once they're done with that and we're ready to serve them, we can move their stuff aside and put their plates there. I have that table set up in my family room, kind of close to a wall. And you may also need to even move your furniture around a little bit. It's okay to move things around for the holiday. Most of us have a small house and we have a lot of people trying to get in, and you want to maximize your space. So it's okay to move things around for that day. So in my family room, I'll have my husband put the love seat against the wall so that, here, I'll show you what I mean. Oh, I'm dropping stuff all over the floor now. So what I'll do is, like, I'll have him, instead of having an L shape, I'll have him put the sofa and the love seat like that on one side of the room. And then I will, that's on one side of the room. And then we'll get we can put a 6-foot banquet table in the middle of the floor, like right in front of the sofa and the TV. And then we can set the table in there, and then people can sit in there, put chairs around it, and then people could sit in there. Usually it's the men that sit in there because they want to sit in there and watch the football game. And then the children's table is in another corner against the wall. Oops. So the children's table is in another corner against the wall over here. And then it's usually only about 4 or 5 of them. And we'll put the things around there that they can use. And then the kitchen is like right over here. So moms can run back and forth to bring things here to the table for the kids. So think about that. That's one of the things that I talk about on my 21 days to get your house ready for the holidays. But it's kind of like a timeline as to what to do when, including not just the kitchen and the table, but if you're having people come to stay, what do you want to do for the guest rooms and that kind of thing, so that you're maximizing your time and not making yourself crazy trying to get everything clean in one weekend. So fresh or frozen turkey, it doesn't matter. I always get a frozen turkey. I think I've only gotten a fresh turkey once, and that was because all the frozen turkeys were gone. Or if you wait till the last minute, you got to get it fresh, because then you don't have time to thaw it out. Doesn't matter, as long as you prepare the turkey right. I'm going to get a frozen one. I'm going to put it in the fridge about 3 or 4 days before the holiday, because it's going to take about 3 days for that turkey to thaw out, and you want it to thaw out in the refrigerator. Once it thaws out, I'm going to put it into brine. So I'm going to wash it, and then I'm going to put it in a pot of brine and set it back in the refrigerator for about 10 to 12 hours. And then I'm going to take it out, and then I'm going to pour the brine off, pat it dry, and then get ready to roast it. If you rub it with a dried brine, then you're going to wipe that dried brine off with a paper towel or whatever, and then you get ready to roast it. But typically, you're going to remove the brine before you actually cook the turkey. But a frozen one is perfectly fine. So India Princess says leftovers are always a touchy subject, so she doesn't eat leftovers. But if she has some new ideas on how to cook them, that'll be wonderful. I don't know why so many people don't eat leftovers, because they're fine. You can eat leftovers, eat whatever it is the next day. But what you can do, let's say you have turkey leftover, you can make that turkey and make turkey noodle soup, turkey casserole, or turkey tetrazzini. Or put it in the freezer and then make a new dish with it the next week. And then you guys can give her some other ideas on leftovers. But I'm just amazed at the number of people that don't eat leftovers. So Terry makes her cranberry sauce 2 days before. 1 whole berry, 1 orange, and 1 whole berries, orange, and a bag of berries ground together in a food processor with a little artificial sweetener. Delicious, fresh tasting. Yeah, it's pretty easy to make. It's like sugar, cranberries, a little juice, a little orange zest. Yeah, very easy. Tracy, I just don't use green peppers in my dressing. I just don't. I like green peppers. I put them in lots of things that I cook, stir fries and stuff like that, but I don't put it in my dressing. I just don't. So her husband wants a duck. A duck can work just fine. Get yourself a duck. The very first Thanksgiving we had, my husband and I cooked a duck. We were living in Bloomington, and it was too late to get a turkey because, of course, I couldn't thaw one out. Not that I knew how to do much with that anyway, our first year of marriage. So I cooked a duck. I looked it up and got a cookbook, and I made it, and it was fine. It was just the two of us at that time. Turkey pot pie with stuffing instead of a top. Oh, Heather. Put stuffing instead of a top crust. Oh my goodness. I'm going to have to try that. That's a good idea. Did you see that, India Princess? That's a good idea. Yes, I like turkey soup made from the carcass. I've got a recipe that I should link about that. Okay, so Hillary's got some information for Sarah. Yeah. Oh, pies always drip, but always, always, always line that bottom oven. I have to tell you guys my oven story. You guys are going to laugh at this, but we've been on here way too long. But I had just got that new oven, hadn't had it very long. And so I was very particular with it, just trying to keep everything on nice and neat and tidy. And I made some baked sweet potatoes for dinner. I wrapped the sweet potatoes up, put some brown sugar, no, wrapped them up, oiled them with, I think probably either butter or Crisco, wrapped them in aluminum foil, set them on the rack to bake. Went to get those potatoes out, opened it up, and they had leaked out. There was black drippings all over the bottom of my oven, which was less than a month old. I about lost my mind. I'm like, oh no. And I called my husband, and he looked at it, and I didn't know what to do because it was just like my brand new oven. So I thought, well, I guess I better let it dry, and then I'll try to scrape it out. Try to scrape it out. I couldn't get it cleaned out. I called Sears. I'm on the phone. I'm almost crying. I'm like, you gotta help me. What can I do to get this out? I know that lady probably thought, this woman has lost her mind. I could not believe what I had done. So trust me, since then, I keep an oven liner in my oven. Oh, Nicole, now that is funny. We were just talking about this last year, earlier today. Like, why do they stuff that gross stuff inside the turkey? We almost forgot to take that out our first year. And that was what we said was the number one mistake that many new homemakers make. Because people want to use the giblets and the heart. They want to use all the parts of it. So a lot of people make giblet gravy. And I've made giblet gravy before. And a lot of people make that. And so they want those pieces. So that's why it's in there. But make sure you take it out before you roast it. Yep. That's what many people do. They leave that bag of giblets in their first turkey and then they're mortified. Oh, Sarah saw some at Kroger's. Okay, I'm going to have to check it out. Girl, you are going to have to catch the replay. We have had so much fun today. It has just been so much fun. Hillary said she wants my wassail recipe. I think I've got a video on how I made the wassail, but I'll do another one. And then Dorothea's asking how I make my warm apple cider punch. Typically, like I think I use 2 quarts of apple cider. Oh shoot, how does it? Apple cider, orange juice, pineapple juice, cinnamon sticks, sugar. I'll put it in the description box. I'll get it and put it in the description box. And I'll also do maybe I'll do a short and I'll put it in there. But I'll make sure you guys get it. I'll put it in the description box for this so that you guys get it. And I'll also do a short. I'm not sure what Kroger's is in other places. Dorothea makes her pies a few days ahead of time. Yeah, I would get a frozen turkey. My green bean recipe. Now, the green beans I've not put in the crock pot before, but they can go in there. You can do them stovetop or crock pot because you're basically just, cooking them. So I've got my recipe is called Holiday Green Beans. I'll link that in the description box. Let me make that note. So wassail video, green beans. I'll get those videos and link them in the description box because I've already done those. Ha! Yeah, apple cider in a crock pot, just use it up. Yeah, look in the description. I'll put it in there. So, guys, I think we've probably been on forever. It's probably time for us to be getting off. Now, that is too funny. They like it in the shape of the can. Oh, thank you, India Princess. I appreciate that. Okay, let's see. Oh, yes, guys, please give me a thumbs up. This has been so much fun. I think my voice is starting to wear out, though, so I think I need to so yeah, I probably need to be going. Hillary's giving some good recipes over there too. Oh my goodness. So now Michelle says they might do leftover pizza the weekend after Thanksgiving and then gravy for pizza sauce and any other leftover toppings. Oh, that sounds really fun. A leftover pizza, Thanksgiving pizza. I like that idea. I might have to give that a try. Leftovers don't have to be complicated and you don't have to make them different. Just make sure you store them properly so that they keep. So it should be good. Okay. All right. This has been fun. I'm so glad you joined me tonight, Nicole, and everybody else. This has been fun. We have been on forever. It is time for us to wrap it up. So I need to go check on my husband. He's ill now. So I've been taking care of him. So I made sure he was situated before I came up. Now it's time for me to go back and check on him. But as a reminder, please download my printable for 21 days to get your house ready for the holidays. Do check out Miss Leona's series on preparing for the holidays. She's got so many good ideas, and whatever I've missed, she's picked up. So you want to make sure that you check her out as well. Ronnie's saying, what is wassail? Oh, it is wassail, Wassail, wassail. And read, if you've ever read any Charles Dickens and they talk about gathering around the wassail bowl, it's an apple cider type punch that is warm, that is served to celebrate the harvest. So that's why they would have it during like the harvest time or around Thanksgiving time or at Christmas time. And so you heat it up and you add the different juices and spices to it. And they would typically have a traditional bowl to serve it in. Well, I don't have a wassail bowl. I put mine in a special punch bowl or a certain pot. But one of these days, I'm gonna find me a bona fide wassail bowl. But it's very nice, and it's similar to a mulled cider, but not exactly. But it's very nice, and I only make it twice a year. Now, Blue Skies will ask me to make it for her birthday because she loves it so much, and so I make it at Thanksgiving and Christmas. If I have some left over from Thanksgiving, then we'll just drink it for the next few days, and that kind of thing. But this has been good. Thank you guys. I appreciate you guys joining me. And I'm going to wrap it up. And I'll get the stuff in the description box that you guys wanted. And I'll see you guys next week. Be sure to check out our Black Friday sale. Bye.